man to stand up, man, be a man. All right, the time is now. Or try to build a relationship with her, like, you know, significant other. And then I would essentially, you know, develop a bro code. Like, that's just how I am, you know. I would develop a bro code, you know. Though I am like best friends, you know, with this girl, like whatever the dude does, like around me, and she's not around type shit, I'm not gonna go around and be like, hey, he did such and such and such. Why? Because guy code, bro code. Yeah, their relationships will go in and out, but like I'd be the variable. Men don't want a woman that has, like, you know, male friends.
Absolutely.
Right? And they, you know, the rhetoric or the preconceived notion, any woman with guy friends, she's really saying that she's a promiscuous person. You know, her and her guy friend is really close, and, you know, they may have sex from time to time. That's what our preconceived notion is. It's a balance to it. I realize it, you know, now in my later age, that it's really not cool, right? To just like be involved in like their relationship. So, you know, like we were really close at one point. I backed up, you know, when like I realized it, and she had this relationship for a long time, right? This older gentleman, you know, I love the dude, man. Like, he's my brother, man. Clues and hints and shit that you would kind of get from, you know, your fellow men. I just kind of got those, and I stopped, you know, coming around as much. I wouldn't call like that or call her phone. I would try to inherently reach the man, right? I would try to call him and this and that and this and that instead.
Out of respect.
Out of respect, for
right.
sure. And raise my testosterone levels, I guess you would say.
That's beautiful. Beautiful.
That is beautiful.
What made you get back into getting in shape and working out?
Well, what got me back in shape and working out was, you know, the threshold, man. You know, we have a certain like time limit, right? In our lives, like men, specifically, right? Where we have this exuberant amount of energy, right? It's during this youth ages of age 18 to, I'd say 25 is your peak, right? So you want to exuberate that type of energy and putting that into working out, right? Tupac said it himself in the Mortal Man interview, right? Have you heard the song Mortal Man?
In this country, a black man only have like 5 years we can exhibit maximum strength. And that's right now, while you a teenager, while you still strong, while you still
saying that like men become weak after that threshold if they're not like continuing on building their testosterone. They become weak after this threshold, right? And so in turn, you know, if you're not growing, the opposite of that is declining. So just wanted to, you know, be self-aware of my health, all right, and then my stature in itself. Came to the point I knew that I needed to really focus on myself and turn myself into a high value man, right? Because all my life I've been dealing with mediocrity, you know. That's just something that like society actually teaches, you know, us to just, it's fine to be mediocre. It's fine to, you know, deal with the bare minimum. So in turn, that made me lazy. I'm always thinking about, you know, the easier way out, or, you know, to simplify something, you know what I'm saying, without making my body work for it. Okay?
Work smarter, not harder.
Work smarter, not harder mentality.
Okay.
Okay, so like throughout my life, I lived that.
So I've been hearing a lot of like high value man, high value this, high value that. It's been going on for like about a year and a half now.
Yes.
What does that mean to you?
High value man to me, rational man, he's going to stand up against the status quo. All right, that's what I believe a high value man. He's not the average Joe. You know, fine with mediocrity. That's what I come to find in my own belief. Strong-willed man, right? Took reign, control over his life. Okay, he saw that this was a game and he wanted to play it at its max potential, and wanted to get the high score out of it. That's what I believe a high value man is. Like, he understands life.
How can a man that's not high value reach high value potential? Let's say from square zero.
Okay.
He wants to change his life, don't know how. You know what I'm saying? His life's complete garbage. He wants to change it. How can he start from square zero to level 1?
Well, first things first, it's always great to, find your mentor to emulate, for sure. Like, if you understand that you're not a high value man, right? You want to start on your journey to, like, becoming a better person, or becoming a better version of yourself, becoming a better man, right? The way that God designed you to be. Find you a mentor, right? A high value man that you can emulate, and take in those attitudes or habits that the successful high value man. I like to reference, and like Andrew Tate, I like to reference man Bilzerian at his peak. Mr. Organic, shout out Mr. Organic, guys. The boys at the Fresh and Fit, shout out Fresh and Fit. All right, took hold of their lives, man. Focus on these 3 things: health, wealth, and morality. That'll start your journey, all right, on becoming a better man or a high value man. Because if you don't have any wealth, we need to learn how to acquire wealth, right? And so you want to emulate people that have the wealth, right? Mm-hmm. That you want to acquire. Health, right? If you're not necessarily the healthiest, right? You want to emulate a healthy role model, right? Taking those ideologies, customs, whatever, and implement them in your everyday life. Immorality, right? I like to reference late Kevin Samuels.
Rest in peace, Kevin Samuels.
R.I.P. the Godfather. Emulate those characters, and then you are, like, I'd say, well on your way. All right, to becoming that successful high value man. And you guys realize it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. Okay, it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. I wanted to disclose that women, they were born with their value, right, and they lose it over time. Men, they were born with no value and they have to gain it over time. That's the difference between men and women. And so once the man understands that, he becomes a dangerous man. I was playing the game, but just not like how the other motherfuckers, was playing the motherfucker, right? So I don't know. It took me some time to, like, really understand this shit, and I'm gonna look back at this video and reflect, and look how far we've come. But now I'm taking the reins. All right.
So back to Nipsey Hussle about being high value. What made Nip high value to you? Oh, okay. So look, Nip being high value, he got the understanding of the whole life, right? And so he took reins of life and just jumped in, man, dived in, man. All right, he got his fucking financials right, all right, and fucking went for it. That's what I just believe why he's a high value man. And then not only that, he was studying a lot. He read, he was bringing his value up and understanding, right? 21, I got into the spirit of entrepreneurship around that age. How did you get into that? Was that a YouTube or?
I was at a youth group, at church.
Okay.
And
church boy.
Yeah, I was a church boy, man.
All right.
And they had this thing called Advocare. Shout out Advocare.
At church?
I'm not sponsored. Yeah, at the church. The people, people there at the church, they were entrepreneurs as well.
Sorry to cut you off. Isn't Advocate like a get rich quick?
Something like that, yeah.
Okay, pyramid scheme.
I believe so, yeah.
I just want to be in the same boat.
I believe so. It was just
at church.
At church.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah. Amongst the church folks, it wasn't like something that the church was promoting.
Right.
It was amongst the people in the church.
We just had a couple of entrepreneurs attending church. Right. Thought you were cool.
They were sharing the information. Right.
I got you.
Right. And so,
I got you.
So that in turn, right, started the entrepreneurship, mindset, whatever.
Okay.
You gotta hold yourself accountable, guys. Stop being complacent. All right, trying to tell yourself, soft feeling words or whatever the fuck. Just be real straight up, man. You've been lazy, all right? Right? And I've been lazy. All right, I've been an ain't shit ass nigga, okay, for the last 10-something years, all right? Rome was not built in a day, all right? Like I said earlier, it's a marathon, not a sprint.
Going back to accountability.
Yeah.
Is it fair to hold men into that spectrum more over than women?
No, I think it's an equal playing field. Accountability is a blanket for everyone. Okay, women can cry their way out of accountability. Us, we have to be accountable. We crying like a bitch. It ain't gonna do nothing for you, man. Right?
You're right.
What did Patrick say? Screaming. When he said all that screaming is gonna get you nowhere. Anyway, yeah, man. So, yeah, accountability, man. You gotta stand on that shit. All right. You made your bed, you gotta lie in it. Made your bed, lay in it. Right. Going back to like the stock stuff. Right.
Yeah.
Introduced to these fellas, and they were talking about finding mentors, reading books, money, and the way money works. It sparked an idea in my head, right? I was introduced to Robert Kiyosaki, Dad Poor Dad, Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill, things in that nature, self-help. There was that, right? Things that Robert Kiyosaki is really strong on is in investing, right? Making your money work for you and not the other way around. He brought up a few points: real estate, stock market. Started looking up, things in that nature, right, on YouTube about stock market. I remember when the movie The Wolf of Wall Street came out. I want to do that. Whatever the fuck he's doing, I want to do that. I want to do that. I saw a fucking gold mine. Something sparked in my head. I was selling penny stocks. Okay, so I was looking up what penny stocks on the market that sell less than $5.
Accomplishments that you did in the past that you're really proud of now?
Did my GED at the age of 21, 23. Dropped out of school, so that was a milestone for me. I'm glad I did that. I went to trade school for my welding certification. Those were my highest accomplishments and points in my life, right? But I do tend and strive to achieve more in my life because those are mediocre milestones. I wouldn't necessarily say that those are successful. I did do it. I'm glad I did it. It's time to strive for more. I understand I'm not him right now. Coming out here saying that I am. All right. I understand. Talking, in a young man's, right, in an older dude's perspective, right? Talking to the young man, to the young crowd, right, that doesn't necessarily understand like life right now, bro. Get a hold of this shit right now. When you are my age, it's easier, right? So you know what to do. You already took hold of your life. And now you're at the point where you can enjoy the fruits of your labor at my age. I'm almost 30. I've been living a mediocre life. That's something that I don't want anymore. I'm focusing on my health right now, so that's why I've been working out every day. I plan on doing that, working out. I heard it raises your testosterone level. It's good for you. When you're working out, it raises your productivity. is what I noticed. And also, wealth. I've been studying for the past 5 years or so on stocks and how to manage my money. This is where that comes into play.
So stocks. So you started at what, 23, 24?
I started learning about stocks around 23, 24.
You had a really good input on the financial aspect.
Yes.
I just want to leave that up there
Yes.
for now. But I noticed lately that you've been talking a whole lot of red pill.
Oh.
A whole lot of red pill.
Okay.
What got you introduced to that? Because me personally, me watching you growing up, you're the Casanova. You know, I personally think that you don't have a hard time with women. But what made you get into the whole red pill thing?
Well, what got me into the red pill thing, I didn't completely understand female nature. Hence, me being married at a young age.
Mm-hmm. How old were you when you were married? When you first got married?
It was 21.
Okay, all right. Yeah, very young.
I was 21. I was too young. I don't advise men to get married at a very young age. All right. I advise men to focus on their passion and their value. Strive to being the best person that you are, because when you do that, offer yourself. Right. That brings more value to your life. That way, when a woman comes into your life, she can't just take nothing from you, right? You already have this foundation laid out.
Simplify. You getting introduced to the red pill.
I lived a little simple life, you know.
We all had a simple life.
Why was like women acting a certain way, you know? That started the conversation.
Beautiful.
You know, I was questioning why was women acting a certain way, right?
Okay, that was your hardship.
Right, I had a hardship with my marriage, right? So I wanted to understand, right, why women acted a certain way, because, you know, I was dealing with women. I dealt with women, right? I didn't fully understand female nature though.
Not to cut you off. I know this is your part, this is your segment for today, but what got me into it as well was me Google searching, why was my girlfriend always complaining? So I see that you changed your bottoms and put on some shiny shoes, some really nice shoes you got on there.
I appreciate it, brother.
What made you switch it up a little bit?
Image is everything.
Okay. You know, Candace used to talk about your image is everything, but why do you agree with that?
You're meeting someone, right? Your first interaction, right? Not even before you even open your mouth, right? People always have a prefixed notion of you, right? They already have an opinion before you even open your mouth. That gives you a good reason, right? Why you should consider the way you look.
But before the camera shut off, you were talking about Nick being high value and the books that he was reading. You're trying to incorporate that into your life.
Yes.
You're reading these books as well?
Yes,
Okay.
I am. So one of the books that he was reading at the time, you know, Way of the Superior Man.
Okay.
And that's what actually drove me into the rabbit hole of the red pill. It touched on, you know, and female roles, right? The gender roles, male and feminine energy in life itself, in work, and how to deal with these things as a man, as a superior man. I read that book and it resonated with me really heavy because it brought up certain things like the shit test.
Can you explain the shit test for people who don't know what that is?
The shit test is basically when a woman bring up some kind of issue, right? Resolve in a argument or something in that matter, right?
Mm-hmm.
And once you perform an argument with this woman, you've lost the shit test. Okay. Trying to see where you stand as a man. She's testing you. And they're going to do it all the time. Stand firm, man.
I noticed that you started to do the male and female delusional calculator once you started to do live streams. And during this live streams, you started doing the delusional calculator.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
What is the delusional calculator for people who don't know what that is?
The delusional calculator is a construct of the statistical information from the U.S. Census Bureau.
Okay.
People here in the United States of America, we take all the statistics together and we use it to find your dream men or a dream woman.
Mm-hmm. What's the typical questions for the delusional calculator?
The delusional calculator, so it would be age, right? The age range,
okay,
height, weight,
okay,
race,
okay,
finances.
Okay. And at the end of all that, it just finds out
who fits in that range and criteria.
Okay, all right. And that works for men and women?
It works for men and women.
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
So I noticed that you started to do that on Facebook Live and Omegle, and it's kind of turning into its own thing, its own segment.
Right.
Are you going to make that into an actual thing for the future?
Till more, content arises, get a better understanding and direction of where this is going, that would be a beautiful start for the conversation, or for segments. I don't want to focus too much on the calculator in itself, but I do understand that it is a beautiful tool to utilize. So I will be using it a lot more in the future.
Okay.
Yes, you can expect me to use it mainly in my videos.
Okay. And for the people that are watching this right now, men and women that want to do the delusional calculator or possibly want to do it live with you, could that be a thing in the future? Oh,
absolutely. I'm going to be setting up a phone line for anyone to call in while we're live. We can just go ahead and do the question and answering. Facebook, Bedrock Cashmere. Whenever I go live, you have the opportunity to give me a video call via Messenger. It will be on the live for everyone to view and be edified. Hafiz, I'm coming for you.
From the roommates?
Free the boys, free them Tates, free the truth.
Free the Tates.
Cancel simp culture, man. Time for men to stand up, man. Be a man, all right? The time is now. Bitch hunt for all simps.